What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome in if you're new. In this video, we're going to be talking about HEX and the June monthly close, as well as our quarterly close. So if you enjoy this kind of hybrid quantitative technical analysis on HEX, pulse chain, and more, leave a thumbs up. Be subscribed by the end of the video if you aren't already. Help us get to 3,000 subs. And let's go ahead and chat a little bit about our... First of all, let's start off with some short term, and then we'll get into the long term. So we'll start off with our short term analysis, go into our monthly closes, and then we'll go into our quarterly. So this is a 6-hour chart. Obviously, this is very short term, and I don't recommend you really look at anything less than a daily chart. The only reason I bring these up, honestly, is to give more resolution to certain formations. So I take everything I say with a grain of salt, right? This is a very short-term price chart. So we talked about this falling parallel channel because we've seen them so many times. And again, it's outlined on my Twitter. If you go ahead and scroll down a little bit, you see that we've had our falling parallel channel all the way back since, or we've been analyzing them since back in April 29th, when we broke this one around the 1.5 penny region. We had a convergence of support. I was super bullish, as you saw in the videos, and then we broke it again, if you remember, near the 5 penny region, and now we're sitting at the 8 or 9 penny region, looking to, well, we did break this falling parallel channel, which just speaks to that point, right? That now we're hanging out around the 8 or 9 penny region, and we could potentially have further moves, a further move up to go, a further leg. And so if we just continue looking at this chart, you see something kind of interesting. Like, personally, I couldn't help but notice this bull flag on the RSI as well as on price, right? If you take just a little move and say, well, what if this short-term bull flag plays out? Obviously, again, this is super short-term, but it's interesting that it lands right at 10 cents, basically. Right at 10 cents, more or less, which is our previous top. And it wouldn't be surprising given we've seen similar moves, like, for example, over here, where we have a run up, we have a move down, and then we test that recent top again. We might test it a third, fourth time, and then break it. But I wouldn't be surprised if we did something like this, right? Where we had a nice V-shaped recovery back into our previous all-time highs. So nice V-shaped recovery, closing in on our all-time highs. Now, if you want to zoom out, we'll zoom out to the daily and look at something a little more longer term. And again, my stance on this move playing out still stands. I still think this is likely to happen. Our technical target at least, right? Which, once again, we had our bullish formation, breakout, and confirmation. And what comes next, in my opinion, is simply placing this at the point of breakout, the size of this move. And we've talked about this plenty of times that I do think, let's place it just the right spot, that I do think a 12-cent hex is not only possible, but I would contend it's likely at this point. It's more likely than not. Again, I'm just thinking that we have not only hit our technical targets in the past, but we've actually doubled them on multiple occasions. So in that sense, I think it's likely that we hit 12 to 24 cents. That's still in the cards, right? If anything, I think it's in the cards more now here that we've confirmed this than back here when I thought we might go straight to it, right? Confirmation is powerful, and that is your daily chart analysis. Now, if we zoom out, we notice that we're coming into monthly close on June, right? June ends in about 3 hours or so from the time of filming this video. So by the time you're watching this, the monthly close for June will pretty much be upon us. And so far this month, if we take from the bottom to the top, it was a 95% move. If we just take the bottom to where we are now, it's a 67% move to the upside. And that's hard to find in crypto in June of 2021. Most cryptos are actually down this month. Most cryptos have a red month this month, except HEX doesn't, which speaks to its strength and resilience against the rest of the market. So definitely a nice green month. Actually, this is a fun fact. If we close green in the next 4 hours, which is pretty much guaranteed, more or less, right, we'd have to dip beneath what, like 5.4 cents in the next 3 hours for this to not close green. So let's just assume this month is closing green. Then we have in fact had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be our 5th green month. And we've only ever seen this once before, back here from January to May of last year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green months before some consolidation and then continuing our move up. Now you can argue for the fact that things are different with the supply dynamics this time, where we don't have 500 million coins being printed every single day available to dump on market, but rather I think we've done the math, right? It's pretty easy. You just do 3.69% inflation on 572 billion-ish coins, divide that by 365 days, gives you your inflation per day, right? Your total inflation per day. But then again, not all of that is effective inflation, because a lot of that is staked out and it's being credited to stakes. So it's actually still not, they're not circulating coins yet. They don't even exist, actually. They're just on paper, right? Because you mint your coins when you unstake. But that's a little, I won't go too much down that rabbit hole. Definitely a whole other video on staking in the future. But my point, what was my point here? Totally got lost in the sauce. Oh, the inflation, right? I would say that the inflation dynamics are so different that you have way less coins being printed every single day, so less sell pressure. People can't dump the coins they simply don't have, right? So is this the last daily, or excuse me, is this the last monthly green candle before we see consolidation? Maybe, but I would say maybe this time we actually keep going, right? Because this is a newish coin, right? It's 1.5 years old, coming up on 2 years, and we haven't seen what it can do, right? We haven't seen it play out a full cycle. So just taking this set of data is really just one data point, right? As a set, right? A set of data points, one set of data points. And so I don't know how much you can actually extrapolate from that. So it's speculative, right? It's speculative. Everything we say on the channel is speculative. Keep that in mind. So now we can look at our quarterly ROI. So we've covered our daily, things are looking bullish. We've covered our monthly, things are looking good, right? 5th consecutive green month. If we were to print a green month in July, then we would have broken our previous record, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that. I also wouldn't be surprised to see a red month, right? So really anything can happen. I know that's not helpful, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see this keep going given the momentum we have and the targets we have, right? I think it's more likely than not. And if we look at our quarterly ROI, then you can see that we are pretty much going to close today. And if we close around the level we are at now, the 8.28 cent level, then we, just by a hair, just by a smidgen, we're actually closing to be our 2nd most profitable quarter to date, right? Our most profitable quarter being Q2 of 2020. Interesting. Very interesting. Q2 seems to perform well for HEX. See, now we have 2 data points, right, when we previously just had 1. So this will be fun to keep watching as months pass by, as quarters pass by, as years pass by. And I remember the whole goal for this was, well, maybe as time passes, you can go back and check the video. I was saying maybe as time passes, we get some seasonality information, some insights on, does HEX perform well in Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4? But we need at least, 2-3 years of data to actually start being able to gather useful insights like that. And I think today is a special occasion. I think it does mark a milestone of insight, because yes, this is our 2nd most profitable quarter to date at 4.82x from the beginning of the quarter, just barely passing Q1 of 2020, which was 4.76x. So just barely. I really like that. That means that Q2, both most profitable quarters in all of HEX's history have been Q2s. So March, what is that? April, May, June generally tend to be really good for HEX. Fun fact, now we know. And you can't really say the same for Q1, because Q1 of 2020 was good, right? 3rd most profitable quarter to date, but then Q1 of 2021 was actually our worst quarter to date. So now we are coming up on Q3, which last quarter was, you know, it was whatever, 30% gain. Like, at least it was still a gain. All of these have been profitable quarters, every single one to date so far. Fun fact. But more or less, Q3 was accumulation last year, if you really look at it, right? Sure, we had a nice move up, almost a 2x, and then back down to almost pretty much 30% beneath the start of the quarter, and then back up to 30% above. So more or less sideways accumulation last year. But then again, we don't know if that says anything about this year. Just comparing Q1 like we just looked at. This red and the cyan curve are vastly different. So maybe this yellow and the new curve being printed in the next 3 months is going to be vastly different. So our average quarterly gain is about 3.46x. So definitely above average. Second most profitable quarter to date. Amazing stuff. And we'll see how the rest of this plays out. We'll definitely keep you updated. Thank you guys so much for almost hitting 1,000 on Twitter. We're literally so close, as well as almost 3,000 here on YouTube. So subscribe, retweet, all that stuff. Like, it helps us grow. It helps us get the word out on HEX so that these projections we have, these bullish projections, might play out faster than we anticipate. And just a kind of a final note to update you guys on the 21-day exponential moving average analysis that we like to look at is that whenever we've talked about this, whenever we've gone beneath it, historically has been, you know, a pretty good time to buy in the last year or so. Ever since we had our post big payday, new inflation dynamics, and pretty much all of 2021, you look at every time we've had candles close beneath it, have been good times to accumulate. Even this time where it was kind of a fake out, you know, it was a good time to accumulate, but we won't circle it because we didn't have candles close beneath it. But then we look here and we had a couple candles close beneath it, and lo and behold, it looks to have been a decent spot to buy. Well, at least short term, we'll see how the rest plays out. Overall, I think things are looking good. I do think 12 to 24 cents is in the cards still. I will stand by that. I'll be the first to admit I'm wrong if it doesn't play out the way we're expecting, but hey, it's fun to look at these and make our projections. So leave a thumbs up if you enjoy this kind of quantitative hybrid technical analysis on HEX, bullshit, and more. Be subscribed by now most definitely if you aren't already. Let's go ahead and get to 3,000 subs. Thanks again for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? What do you think of the monthly analysis we did, the daily analysis, and the quarterly ROI analysis? Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.